Good to see you all as always. Thank you for spending your time with all of us. And, each of you, whether you know it or not, are an inspiration to me and to each other, consciously or subconsciously. It's a powerful choice to think these big thoughts and to play these powerful games first thing in the morning. So, quick refresher as always, and just a disclaimer as to why we always spend so much time refreshing and reminding ourselves of what exactly we're talking about. It's because our minds are overloaded with all sorts of thoughts, especially very practical thoughts. And if we don't keep the garden of these virtuous ideas, expansive ideas, fresh by reminding ourselves very simply and discussing them, they tend to dissolve, and they dissolve into nothingness, as all things dissolve into nothingness. And so the great miracle of anything is to push it through time, to see it survive over the course of time. And so we must remind ourselves. And so what we've been discussing is sort of this chain of ideas and consequences. But we've discussed stillness as the arresting of the karmendriyas. Karmendriyas are hands, feet, mouth, genitals, and excretory organs. And the powerful idea within that is when you are holding stillness, it's not a passive gesture, it's a very powerful gesture. You're saying, I'm not reacting or responding to my environment. And then the idea we started discussing this week is, okay, so I'm not responding to my environment. Why exactly would I not want to respond to my environment? Because it makes a lot of sense to respond to your environment. Everything responds to its environment. Even atoms respond to the environment of other atoms. And so why exactly is a yogi not responding to its environment? Because subtly within the gesture of any form of response, there is an ego complex and a fear complex and a complex of desires. It's like, I don't think this is as it should be. I must interfere. I must adjust. I must interact to shape this moment or this conversation or this sensation in a way that serves me in a way that's more aligned with what I expect. And so it's that little seed of desire and dissatisfaction and fear that the yogi is trying to extract. And so the arresting of the karmendriyas, your stillness, is essentially a testament of faith. And so the word we talked about last session was shraddha, faith. This is all about faith. We're learning to trust our circumstances in our world, and fundamentally God, whether you believe it or not, or want to believe it or don't want to believe it, we're trying to trust as little mortal beings, the macrocosm of our existence in a really profound way. So shraddha. And so that's sort of it. So you want to sort of associate these ideas of shraddha, of faith, and of non-reactivity, and of arresting the body, and of action with stillness. Okay, so now stillness becomes this very powerful process. And so today we're getting into breathwork. So we're going to do bellows breath again because that's what we've been focusing on. And the consequence, again, we must remind ourselves of these nuances, is the idea with breathwork is we're collecting so much energy that we can sort of catapult ourselves beyond the tempest and the whirlwind of all our thoughts and enter sort of the openness and the quiet of that which is above the atmosphere of our mind, the space, right? The akash of the mind. And so when you pull yourself into that quiet and then decide to think something, because there's no other thoughts, it's this very intimate and personal and powerful moment between you and whatever it is you're thinking, right? So I always think of a teacher, let's say a math teacher, with a whiteboard. And if the math teacher, over the course of the semester, never takes the time to clear the whiteboard over 2 sessions, it's just a mess on the whiteboard. We can't distinguish the new equation or the new statement from all the others that have been sort of scribbled on the surface. But if the teacher takes the time to clear the whiteboard, as they all do, the new lesson is very, very obvious. Cool? And so breathwork is going to help you clear the mind. The last little detail I want to explain in regards to clearing the mind, in regards to shraddha, this faith, is that you also want to consider the virtuous aspects of this practice, the faith, the nobility, the beauty, the gratitude, all these sort of positive consequences. They are not necessarily attained. They're already there. And it's our thought process and our concepts and the accumulation or the plaque of our desires and our ego and our expectations and our fears and our resentments and all of this. It's the plaque of the mind that deludes or stops us from seeing life's innate nature. So there's a very quick story of the Buddha that I think is very poignant. Someone asked the Buddha, what have you gained from meditation? And the Buddha adamantly and without hesitation says, nothing. I have gained nothing from this practice. And that's very important for all of us to appreciate. We are not trying to attain anything. Even though we're leaning into faith and leaning into appreciation and leaning into wonder, the Buddha continues and says, but what I have lost is fear. What I have lost is desire. What I have lost are expectations. What I have lost is insecurity. Again, the teacher is sort of clearing the whiteboard. This is about letting go of things, sacrificing things, renouncing things. And back to stillness, about physically renouncing reactivity, losing the urgency to always respond. And when we really become this blank slate, we become Akash, we become emptiness, then we see life's true nature for what it is. Beautiful, enchanting, miraculous. And in that, instinctually, not because we compel it to happen, we have faith. We see that life is always sort of pulling us forward into a deeper experience of beauty and existence and so on and so forth. So you're not collecting faith, even though that's what it will feel like. And even though neurologically that's what it might be doing, you might be trying to think of faith. But philosophically and symbolically to a yogi, and this is a powerful thing to believe, faith again, shraddha, is that you are just beholding the intrinsic nature between an open being, which is what we're trying to do, and a living reality. It is innately faithful, that relationship. Cool? Makes sense? Hope it does. And so now a real quick example or description of the breath work we're doing. Bellows breath. So very, very big inhales. It's going to feel just like a yawn when it's sort of at a moderate intensity. So you just want to take a look at me. Your mouth is very, very open. Don't be reluctant or nervous or feel awkward about opening your mouth. Open mouth. From there, it's a yawn of an inhale. You're going to swell into the belly and the chest. And then you're just going to exhale out the mouth. So again, the mouth is very open. Big breath into the belly and chest. And then exhale. And so the way to accelerate the intensity and sort of reap the benefits of the breath is to start speeding up the rhythm. And so you just want to look and listen. And if you really want to go for it, you can sort of tiptoe into this feigned panic attack or anxiety attack where the breath starts to build up into the chest, the rhythm becomes a little more frantic and a lot more quicker, faster. And so it would look and sound like this. Exhale, hold. And so you just want to be monitor your physical effect or your physical response. I'm already feeling dizzy, lightheaded, and hot. Okay. So there it is. Let's do this, everyone. Strong seated position. We're going to do about 3 rounds of this, just short 2-minute rounds. And in between these rounds, we're going to focus on shraddha, focus on specific ideas to give you a sense of the consequence of breath work in relationship to thinking or perceiving these truths of the world. Okay? Powerful posture. So posture 1. Legs are crossed, or you're sitting on a chair, and your feet are flat on the floor, your knees are about hip width distance. If you're in a chair, just place your hands on your laps. It's a bit more comfortable that way. If you're on the floor, wrists on knees, very, very straight arms, a finger to each thumb. So the 4 fundamentals of your practice is always refreshing, reminding, engraving them into our minds. First is your pose. Straighten your spine a little bit more, straighten your arms a little bit more. The second is stillness. Nothing moves because I don't have to interfere, I don't have to adjust anymore. The second is breath. Steady but deep. And the fourth is feeling. And so very quickly, acknowledge what you are thinking. It might be very, very random. A ladybug, a cloud, or it might be very practical, judgmental. But as you capture the thought, immediately redirect your attention into feeling your body. And notice there is a difference between thinking and feeling. Okay, so for 2 minutes, you're just going to hold this stillness, hold this posture, breathe steadily and try to feel. And again, consider, you're not attaining anything. The Buddha himself learned nothing from meditation, only lost certain aspects of the mind. Two minutes starts now. If peace comes, bring your hands to heart center. If it does not, keep your wrists on your knees. So those that have touched peace, it was not attained. You just lost the mind. And those that have not touched peace, you have not let go of your thoughts. And so the innate nature of this relationship between self and world is still clouded. This is the idea. Everyone slow down your breath. Everyone just feel your body as it is, more than thinking about what it could be. Bring your hands to heart center, whether you are observing peace or observing the absence of peace. Notice that you are beholding an experience. And so this experience is an object of attention. Even though it's intangible, it is something to behold. You just want to notice that relationship. I am aware of peace, or I am aware of no peace. Really feel that, a couple breaths. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. The next question is, so what beholds this peace? The answer is my attention, my awareness, my consciousness, my sentience. But feel that sentience. Become aware of awareness. I am aware of my awareness. The key point, as always, is a yogi identifies as awareness, not as human, not as personality, not as name. They believe they are this awareness inside the husk of flesh, inside the shell of behaviors. Bring your wrists back to your knees, straighten your arms. Fingers to thumbs. Now listen to the world around you. A world made of billions upon billions of objects, including your body, including your thoughts. Sense all of those objects as one thing. And now it is a very intimate and personal moment between you, awareness, and reality. Stars, think of space, think of galaxies, the whole of reality. Okay, 3 rounds of bellows breath, Bastrika Pranayama. Everyone open your mouth and just start to breathe normally through the mouth. So we're going to start with a mild intensity. It's just like a gentle yawn in and a big exhale. 1 minute starts now. Yawn in, big exhale. So let's make this purely physical. As you breathe in, feel the stomach swell first, then the rib cage. And as familiar as you might be with this exercise, push into that sense of inflation and expansion. Breathe into the lower back, breathe into the upper back, breathe into the collarbone and throat, as if you were drowning in air. But keep the rhythm slow. So right now, CO2 levels are dropping in your blood. Blood is being pushed out of the head and into the body. That's what creates the dizziness. So just monitor that. If you go too fast, if you go too powerful, if you don't pay attention to yourself, you can pass out. So you have to feel, manage control, remain sentient. Now increase the speed slightly. 5, 4, notice that exacerbates the effects. 3, 2, 1, full exhale. Blow out the mouth. All air is out of the lungs. Hold the breath. So now your CO2 levels are building. You're returning back to normal. Breathe slowly through the nose. I have gained nothing through this practice. Just feel. Recognize easily that through your stillness, through your focus, and through your attendance, there is already faith. There is already Shraddha. And then the mind turns back on. You start to think. And Shraddha is clouded with agendas, analysis, expectations. So let go of the mind and just feel. Attain nothing from this process. Okay, open the mouth. Just breathe normally through an open mouth. Get used to the dryness in the throat. Really open the jaw, relax the jaw. Very uncivilized of us. Okay, round 2. Same intensity. If you want to build the intensity, feel free. That means you would have to inhale the same amount of air in less time. A little faster, but the same volume. Time starts now, 1 minute. So purely physical, monitor the sensations. Belly swells, chest swells. Drown in the breath. Like a cup overflowing with water. Straighten the arms, tilt the hips forward, build your posture. It will wake you up into the experience. Tingling, buzzing, heat, dizziness, lightheadedness. To yogis, this was cosmic energy. This is your nervous system firing biologically. This is blood funneling into your body biologically. Exhale, hold the breath. Perfect posture, perfect stillness. Inhale very, very slowly through the nose. Appreciate the blank whiteboard. Rahita, emptiness. You are doing nothing. And then the mind very quickly starts to turn back on. At this point, think of the philosophies. Shraddha. There is already faith. Your stillness proves that. The fact that you wake up every day and go on with your life proves that. You just don't sense it. Once you sense it, you can build upon it. Because that is the consequence of attention. Pay attention to something, and it grows. last round, best round. Open the mouth, just take a couple normal breaths. Swell into the stomach, swell into the chest, into the back as well. Mild to moderate to maximum intensity. There you go. 1.5 minutes, a little longer. Mild intensity, it's just like a yawn. Maybe a little pause before you exhale, a little pause before you inhale again. Moderate intensity, it's like a powerful yawn. No pause. Maximum intensity, something like a panic attack. Rhythm is broken down. You're swelling into the upper chest. You're inhaling more than you're exhaling. Drowning in the inhale. If it ever becomes too much, just exhale, hold. You are in charge of your practice. Everyone straighten your arms, straighten the spine. Isolate the physicality into the abdomen and diaphragm. Everyone slow down the breath slightly wherever you are. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Now exhale, hold. Clear whiteboard. Rahta, emptiness, akash, ether. Breathe normally. What are you aware of right now? The answer is everything. The answer is life. From distant star to distant galaxy to a nearby tree, to your toes, to your fingers, to your thoughts. It is all one thing. And you inside this body and mind are beholding it. Shraddha, faith, is the innate relationship between Atman, this inner consciousness, and Brahman, the world that we are conscious of. And when we let go of ourselves, we can feel. So in closing, really appreciate, yes, we can have faith throughout our days, throughout our hours, and throughout our minutes, but to hold stillness for extended periods of time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. It's a very powerful expression of that faith, but it also embeds that faith into us more powerfully. So hands to heart center. Just consider that. In terms of your practice, not your life, your stillness embeds us with faith because it is a gesture of faith. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. When the mind is clear, one, we become more familiar with our consciousness, which is the goal of yogic meditation. And from that, the innate nature of this relationship between self and world is more evident. It is good. Center consciousness. Wrist back to knees, straight arms, straight spine. As that consciousness, behold the world. You are in a one-on-one relationship. There's only been two things, you and existence. And so this is the perfect moment to say namaste in the mind. The soul of my inner being, Atman, in this moment actually recognizes the singular soul of existence, Brahman. And when the mind turns on, that singular soul of the world will be shattered across millions. With an inhale, open the eyes, and either behold the world as a singular thing or feel the consequence of its shattering.